Hello and a warm welcome to everybody to our MindChat webinar. What else can I do? Discover and rediscover MindManager. My name is Jan Heger. I'm the speaker and presentator of this webinar. On the side of me, my boss, Dr. Stephen Bashford, is sitting and assist me and support me a little bit.
Yes, hello ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful day and have a lot of fun with the webinar with Jan today.
Thank you. Before we start with the webinar, I would like to test the connection. So if you can hear me and see my map now with a moving mouse, please give me the hand sign, raise your hand in your GoToWebinar panel that I can check and make sure that my settings done correctly. Yes, I see a lot of hand signs. Thank you very much. Okay, some short information about this webinar. It is a public webinar with a duration of roughly 60 minutes. It will be recorded as usual. Of course, you will get a follow-up mail to this webinar with a link to the record and with a download link to the maps I show you here in the webinar. Please feel free to ask questions in the webinar. For this, please use the question box in your GoToWebinar panel. My boss, Dr. Stephen Bashford, will monitor the questions and will answer the questions or delegate the questions to me. The last information I would provide you before I start with the webinar is the MindManager version I use today. It's the current MindManager version 15.1 for Microsoft Windows together with Microsoft Office 2013. Okay, I go now to my introduction map. I linked it here. And yeah, this is my schedule for this webinar. First of all, I will talk about the general added value, the core values of MindManager. After this, I will go and show you some functionalities, some tools you can use, because MindManager in my eyes is like a toolbox, and I decide which tool I use for which situation. And I give you an overview of the tools mostly used in MindManager. And at the end, I will show you also some more examples. Some more examples, and this is also a little bit a time buffer for me. So, okay, let's start with the general added value. So the work with MindManager is a visual working. MindManager provides you every time the overview of your information in the map, of your content of the map. It shows you also the details if necessary. MindManager shows you also the relationship between the information. I will show you later in the tools how you can show relationships and highlight relationships. Because of the structure of a map and the visualization elements we use in a map, like images, like icons, it becomes a very transparent communication. Everybody understands the same. The best example for this is a green traffic light. Everybody understands, okay, we will follow up with this, with everything which is marked with a green traffic light. Then we come here to the center of this graphic. It's intuitive. You can also say it's ease of use. The work with MindManager is ease of use. A customer said to me once, I like to work with MindManager because I can work as I think. You are not limited with a format or with a matrix. You can create your map as you think, as you need. You're free. So, because of the ease of use of MindManager, it's also a very flexible work. You can fast capture your information and structure it. And you can work with the information, means you can enhance it with links, you can use icons or markers, you can qualify it, make decisions and all the things. Yeah, I said it, links. It's the keyword for the next point, for the integration of MindManager in your system environment. MindManager is not a standalone solution. It's deeply integrated in the Microsoft world. This allows you to aggregate very fast your information, to find and recover your information, and to update, to synchronize your information. The best example for this is Outlook. We have a bidirectional interface to Outlook, which helps us to synchronize it. And this helps you to prevent redundancies in your system. Everybody is up to date, has the current version of, for example, for an offer. And these are the core values, the main benefit, the general added value of MindManager. So I used this as a framework to start with this webinar. Now we came to the tools, to the MindManager as a toolbox. I will start with the basic tools. Then I will go to the linking, the integration of external data. And then we will come to plan new processes to making decisions. So let's have a look into the basics of our MindManager tool. Yeah, first of all, I would like to recommend starters. Start with the templates. MindManager comes along in the standard installation with a lot of templates. And where do you find the templates? Very easy. I expand here my ribbon. I go here to my menu File. And here I have the submenu New. And here you find the map templates. On the top you find blank templates for radial map, org chart map, or whatever. And in the local templates, you find topic-specific templates. For example, for the management, project management, problem solving, or whatever. Let's have a deeper look here in meetings and events. Here you find 4 templates: agenda, event plan, and a meeting. And I open now the meeting template. So just a double click and the template opens as a new map. You see it here on the bottom of my MindManager. It's map number 5. And of course you can customize and create and change your template as you need it, depending on your requirements, on your needs. And for example, I can delete here as in the start, the beginning, the tips. I don't need them. Then have a look here a little bit deeper into the agenda. And here we have a first structure. Of course, you can change it every time. For example, you can add a new subtopic. I just press now the return button and I add a new subtopic here where I can define whatever. And this is a very easy way for starters, for beginners to work with MindManager because you don't have to create a map from the scratch. You can use templates. And another possibility to extend your map, to create more information, is to work with map parts. And as the name said, this is parts of a map. And where do you find these map parts? You find it here on the tabs on the right side of my MindManager. If you don't have these tabs, don't worry. On the bottom of your MindManager, you find a button called Task Pane. Click on the Task Pane and set the check mark on Show Task Pane tabs. And then you have here the tabs on the right side. And here you find a tab called Map Parts. And what you see here in the window on the top, MindManager comes along with the categorization of the map parts. For example, for analysis, for brainstorming, for projects, for meeting basics. And of course, you can customize these map parts, this structure, to your requirements. You can add by right mouse click a new folder. You can also rename a folder, or you can delete a folder. So I prepared a little bit here in my own map parts. You see here I do some map parts here. And how can I save a part of a map as a map part? For example, here my agenda. I just mark it here in my map and then I said add selected topic. And here you find now the agenda. If I add now another topic, parking lot for example, and click now on my map part agenda, it's automatically added here in the map. And I show you an example I use very often in my daily schedule, in my daily dashboard. I have done it here with a new call. And the new call is, who is calling me or who I am calling, what is the call about, the topic of the call, the date, and the follow-up, the to-do. And the advantage or the benefit of using the map part is, in this scenario, I can add as many map parts as I want. Very easy. I don't have to create every time it for myself. And this helps me, for archiving, for notifying my incoming calls or my outgoing calls. Okay, I go back now to my introduction map. This was a short overview of working with templates. Of course, there are a lot of more possibilities and functionalities to work with templates, but yeah, just to give you an overview, an idea. The next thing I want to talk about is capturing ideas and information in something in a brainstorm, for example. In a brainstorm, often a timer is used, and MindManager supports this. The timer here in MindManager is on the bottom. If you don't have the timer, just right-click on the button, and there you can configure your status bar and do the check mark here on a timer. And when the timer is there, you can start it, for example, now the next 5 minutes, and the countdown starts directly. Capturing ideas and information in a brainstorm mode. So MindManager is something like a dynamic whiteboard. And often when I'm on customer visit, I see the whiteboards on the wall, the traditional whiteboards. And what I faced there are markers in different colors. And I always asking, why do you have markers in different colors? And the answer is every time, yeah, because we need different colors to make relationships, to become a structure. And I show you now how easy it is with MindManager to capture information, ideas, and to structure it. And for this, I want first to collect and capture. Here you see some ideas. Idea 1 to 7. And these are floating topics. And of course, it is very easy to insert new floating topics. And now I give you the name of the menu. You find floating topic here in the insert menu. Floating topic, just click it, and then there you have the floating topic. And with a blue frame around an element, around this floating topic, it shows you I'm in the writing mode. So I can enter my idea number 8, for example. Then I press return, finish the writing mode, and one of the benefits is I can now make a structure behind my idea 8. So I press Control Return, and a subtopic is added. And here I can enter, for example, my details to my idea. I press Return, and writing mode is finished. Then I press Return again, and an element on the same level is added, in this case a subtopic, for example, for additional information to my idea. With Control Return, again, subtopic is added. So very easy to making complex structures. You see it. And I navigate now with my arrow keys here on my keyboard. And now I'm marked my idea 8, my floating topic, and press return again. And a new floating topic is automatically inserted. For example, my idea number 9. Of course, I can also make a new structure, but you see it so far. So let's have a look here in my structure. I structured my ideas 1, 2, 3, 4 here in this orange structure, and the ideas 5 to 7 in the red structure. And now can easily work with drag and drop. My idea number 8 is depending on idea number 6, or maybe is a complete new idea. Then I have it there. So, and this is the benefit of working with MindManager. You're absolutely free. You can concentrate on your content, on your information, and don't have to concentrate on your structure. You can structure it when you have the time for it, and you can restructure it. Okay, enough of capturing information. I will continue with the visualization capabilities of MindManager. What kind of capabilities provides MindManager to you for visualization? First of all, the color. You see it here. I can work with fill colors. I can have line colors, or I have also the possibility to color my font, my writing. We have also the possibility to work with shapes. Shapes for topics. You see it here, a circle or a hexagon. We can work with call-outs, with boundaries. Call-outs and boundaries are new elements. You will find it here in the insert menu. The shapes and colors you will find here in the design menu. it is also possible to have the context menu. So if I mark a topic and open the context menu with a right click, I have here also the possibility to change the color, the font, the shape, and everything else. Or I can open my formatting menu. Here I have more possibilities, for example, shape and color. The last thing in this topic of visualization is I want to talk about images. Why should we use images? Images are nice to look, yeah, right? But images help us to understand the information, the content of your map much better. Imagine an image of a dollar note, of a dollar sign. Everybody who sees the dollar sign say, okay, this is about money. And it's very easy for you to understand and to remember what's behind the dollar sign. This is why we work with images. So let's talk shortly about layout. We have a mix.
Jan, here's one question. How can you have dependencies when you expand without having visible linking lines? I assume that this is related to that we have white lines to the topics. If you open up visualization capabilities again.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have actually no lines, no visible lines.
Yes, it's in the view mode. Here you can say show height. No?
No,
Sorry, I'm wrong.
Yes, because maybe my explanation wasn't too detailed enough. What you can always do is you can set the line color to the topics, and here the line colors to shape are actually set to white.
Okay.
And this is why they seem to be invisible, that they seem to be no connectors to there.
Okay.
But it's still a sponge.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Stephen. Okay. Coming back to layouts. We can use a mix of layout. For example, our org chart, which is here in green. I expanded. You see subtopic, and under the org chart, as a child, you see again another org chart. Very easy. By the way, my timing is now done. I'm finished with my brainstorm. We can work also with other layout types. For example, a tree layout. You see it here, subtopic, and under the subtopic, several other subtopics. But we can also make a mixture. Here also, again, a tree layout in these cases. But here we have a map layout. So I can easily change my layouts depending on my requirements, depending on what I want to see. The layout you will find here also in the menu Design, Layout, and here you can change it. Or in the context menu, right-click with your mouse. Here you have also the possibility to change your layout. And also in the formatting dialog, here you can also change the layout options of your subtopics. So, relate topics to each other, show relationships, and what is the benefit of showing relationships. First of all, again, to the structure. With the structure of a map, here in this detail, we have a topic and a subtopic with details. It is very easy to see relationships. You see it directly. Hey, this is depending on each other. Here's a subtopic, here's a child, and here's a parent topic. It is also possible to do such association change. Sorry, I always have problems with this word. This is also a possibility. And of course, you can also use, again, the boundaries, and you can also format the boundaries to connect things together. Connections and relations could be also made with these connection lines. And you find it here also again in the menu Insert, and here you find lines for insert relationships. Of course, you can also format it and change the shape or the color or whatever. What you see here also, we use symbols, icons. For example, the orange flag or the warning symbol for attention. So why do we use icons? Because we can use it to categorize, to do classifications of our information. And icons, I recommend to use icons here in my index. And again, if you don't have the tabs here on the right side, on the bottom, show task pane tabs, then you have the index here also on the right side. And what do you see here? Here are the markers. And we have several markers. For example, markers depending on tasks, progress here, not done, quarter done, half done, and also priority is also used. But we can have markers, also text markers. We called it tags. And a tag is a keyword. And often keywords are used for departments, for specific office sites or production sites, or for regions. And here you find also graphical icons, and of course you can customize it completely by yourself. You can rename it. For example, here the flags, I can rename it to whatever name I want. I can add a new icon. I can copy it or can completely delete the group. Of course, you can also add new groups using here this plus symbol, and then you can say add a new icon group or add a new tag group. The tags by itself you can also delete. The icons you can also delete it here, or you can add a new icon, right click, new icon, and I say new icon, for example. And then I have a drop down menu where I can say, for example, my red flag, which I deleted, and then I add it and I have it here. And of course, you can see here also the colors in the index, the fill colors. What you also see is the number of placements here in my index. So the orange flag, the discussion symbol, our icon, is placed 3 times in my map. So I want to place now the green flag, just drag and drop it wherever I want it. It's very easy. And now you see it's placed 2 times in my map, and the icons of my group, of my icon group flags, are placed now 5 times. This is also useful for navigation, because if I expand now here my green flag, I can easily navigate. You see, it's highlighted in my map. And the next benefit of working with icons, with tags, is you can filter for it. You can use it for focusing. And how do you filter it? There are also several ways. You can click on an icon, right click, and then you have quick filter, show topics only with this marker. And then my map is filtered automatically. You see it here, it's highlighted, my map is filtered, and you see the index is also dynamically. It shows me no placement of green flag because I filtered and I see only the orange flag. If I want to remove the filter, no problem. Go to the menu View. Here you can remove the filter or use this button on the this button here, remove filter, and then everything is back again. And we use this for focusing or for classify our information. So this
Jan?
yes.
Here are actually 2 questions which seem to be quite important, because I've got a lot of requests about this one. How did we get the white line? We should show it. Maybe you simply open up the
visualization.
Yeah, let's take the relate topics
The
one,
related
because we've been in
topics.
there. It's very nice to show it there. Click on the structure. We show how it works on structure, and now we go on design. And there we select the line color, and we can set this easily to white. And then it looks like the complete structure is decoupled.
So maybe I have to remove the boundary for better.
Yes, we can do this. But I think it's very easy to set up such a structure because you can easily and very individually format each topic. So by means of defining the shape of the topic, defining the line colors and the fill colors. So, and this is how you can achieve the effect. And the next question is, how did we get that gray shaded boundary? And maybe we can show this as well.
So I do now the undo button. It's Control Z. Here's my boundary again. You find the boundaries here in the menu insert, and here you have a boundary. And if I mark, for example, here the connections and relations, and then I can insert a boundary. I can select the shape of the boundary, for example, the curved lines, and then I have to format a little bit. So format the boundary, for example, the fill color. It's now automatic, it's white, but I can use also another fill color like the gray, the light gray. No, I like light gray. And now I have the light gray. So right click on the boundary and then format boundary, and then you can change it. It's also for the relationships. Right click on the relation and then format relation, and then you can also change the color of your relation, maybe to blue. And then you have it in blue. Okay, that's enough of my basics. So, I come now to add or link details. So, bring in external data in my map. Because it's nice to have a map, but I need often some more information. So, first of all, I want to talk about the notes. Notes are a possibility to enter a lot of text into my map without using topics, without making topics too big because of a lot of text. So how can I add a note? I show it here in this topic. You can use the insert menu. Here you have the menu for notes. Of course, you can also work with the context menu, notes, and you have also the shortcut Control T. And when you add a note, automatically on the right side, a note editor opens. And in my eyes, you can do a lot of text formatting in the notes editor. I showed you a little bit here. I can work, for example, with pictures. I can work with different fonts and fonts formatting. For example, here in my case, Arial, I have also the possibility to change it to other fonts. Size, bold, italic, underline. Align it left, center, or right. I can do a numbering. I can use bullet points like I've done here. I can work with indents. I can highlight colors as I do it here. I can change, of course, the color of my font. I can work with tables, with links. This is a link, by the way. I can work with pictures, shown here, and I can make timestamps. And this is a great feature in my eyes because it's a very easy way to import a large number of information, a large amount of text inside your map. And of course, you can search for the information in your notes. So how can you search for it? I close here my notes. If you want to search anything in your map, use the eyeglasses here. It's also a drop-down menu. It's Control F, and here you can find for keywords, for example. And I remember in my notes there was a word for strategies. And in the options, I collapse the options. I have to say where MindManager should search. In my topic text and in my notes. Standard is only in topic text. And then I say find next. And then automatically my note is opened. The topic with my note is highlighted here. And the first match of my keyword, of my search word, is also highlighted here. And then I can also say find the next one, and here the next one is highlighted. Of course, I can also replace it with another word. So this is about notes and search functionality. Let's talk about links. Of course, we can work with hyperlinks to websites. If I click here on this hyperlink, my internal browser, yes, I want to have this page, my internal browser of MindManager opens, and here you see it's a MindJet homepage, and the benefit of it, I can use links, for example here the sublink to learn more about meeting management. I can drag and drop it directly from my browser into my map and open it here again, and then I have the sub-page of meeting management with MindManager. And of course I can add another link here just by drag and drop, very easy. When I use links, I have also every time the possibility to open it outside of MindManager by using the standard application. In my case, my standard web browser is Firefox. So if I want to use it with Firefox, click on the link, right click, open link outside of MindManager. And then hopefully my Firefox came. Yes, you see, my Firefox come up, and here I have the sublink. And of course, I can also add here more links from my Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, for example, the Brainstorming modus, also by drag and drop. Very easy. The next thing I want to talk is to link a folder, because often in your daily work and in my daily work, I collect my information in specific folders, in topic-specific folders, for example, to my webinar, and I show you now how to link a folder. Just use in the menu link, or just use the right-click, the context menu, and then you can say add a link. And then a new dialog comes up, and a dialog, for example, here to select a folder or a file or a website. In my case, I want to use a folder now, and I use here my demo folder, and here I have a subfolder demo en, and I want to link this. And here the link is now added, and if I click on this link symbol, it shows me like your file explorer. What is the content of this folder? For example, here some use cases of MindManager. And now I can also drag and drop it very easy directly from my internal browser of MindManager, and can add this PDF file as a link or attach the file. Of course, I can also add more link. And here again, if I click on the PDF symbol, it opens directly in my internal browser. Or if I click here with a right click and open link outside MindManager, now my PDF reader comes up. Attachment, I showed you how to attach. Just drag and drop a file from the internal browser or from the Windows file explorer, drag and drop it into a map, and then you can decide add as a link or as an attachment. But we can also add more details, for example, spreadsheets. And a spreadsheet you can also use for calculations. You know it from, for example, from Excel. But this is not an Excel spreadsheet, this is a MindManager spreadsheet. You will find it here in the menu Advanced. And here you can add a spreadsheet to a topic. And of course you can do here also a calculation. You see here, I've added here a formula. You can also collapse and expand a spreadsheet, so it's better for an overview to collapse the content of a spreadsheet sometimes. The next thing is to add a data record or a topic property. It's also possible to expand it. And topic properties could be also set up in the menu Advanced. Here you find also properties. And have a look here in our topic properties. You just give a name to the property and define the type. And I can also add a new property, add a name, new property, And let's have a look what types are possible. For example, numbers, currency, percentage, integers, text, date, times, Boolean values, file or folder links, or colors. Up to you, whatever you want. In my case, number is fine for me. So I enter a number, and which number I like 15. Very easy to add and to work with properties. And benefit of the properties, you can export the properties to Microsoft Word, and you can do calculations. I show you later in the examples. Okay, let's come to Outlook. First of all, I want to talk about Outlook in general. We can add all Outlook elements like contacts, like tasks, like appointments, like mails, of course, in our map. So I show you now the example with a contact. I have here a contact from Gregor. And it's also the possibility to collapse the metadata, the contact data. So you see here the position of Gregor. Sorry for the German word, but I use a German Outlook. It's in the development department. The company is Bamboo Bikes Bottrop. The telephone number. Yeah, my problem is I can't reach Gregor via telephone. So it's very easy to send Gregor a mail. I don't have to go back to my Outlook. I just click here on this symbol, on this envelope with the @ sign, click on it, and then a mail comes up with the email address from the contact data, and I can directly write the email and send the email from the map. No, I don't want to save the email. Another possibility or another benefit of working with Outlook contacts in the map, you can also use the symbols. You see it here, I use the smiley symbol. It comes again from my index. I have here the smileys, and I set here the smiley symbol to Gregor just to show he's happy with his job, with his project, with his tasks, or the category is also a symbol. It's here in the general tag category A. And of course, we can also work with relationships. You see here, I just click on the relationship, and I show that Gregor had a strong impact on Vera. So how can I add a contact to a map? I show you, I open here my Outlook, I have here some demo contacts, and I just take Marlene, for example, and drag and drop it here in my map just to the place where I want to have Marlene. And here again is the Marlene contact. Here I have the details of the contact. I have here the link to the mail, and I have the contact picture. I open the contact picture again in the internal browser, drag and drop it here to my topic, add as an image, and so everybody see the picture of Marlene and has a face to the name. And because of the structure, I have here the contact structured in an org chart. Everybody knows who's the team lead, in my case Gregor. And this is additional information just by the structure of the map. The next thing I want to talk is tasks. Of course, we can highlight tasks, and here is a task preparation for this webinar. The task is done. I've prepared my webinar. I can open also the Outlook item. Just click here on this Outlook symbol, and then open Microsoft Outlook item. And then the Outlook item comes along with. So how can I create tasks in my map and send it to Outlook? I show you. I close this. And this is just a task with a topic with task information. The task information can be set up here in the tab Task Information. Here you can set up the priority, the progress, start date, due date, duration, whatever. And if you've done it, just right-click on the topic and say, send topic to Microsoft Outlook as a task. And then automatically the Outlook symbol is attached to my topic. And then I can say, open the Microsoft Outlook item. And of course, I can change it here. For example, change the priority to normal or make a category for the webinar, and then I say save and close, or assign the task to somebody else, for example to Steven. I say now save and close, and now I do the synchronization with Outlook. The shortcut is F5, or right-click sync with Outlook, and then you see the category webinar comes from Outlook, and the color comes also from Outlook. And this is what we mean with synchronized working. Of course, it is also possible to have appointment meetings in your map. Here I have an appointment. I just open it, and here I have the appointment, and I can change now the time. For example, my demo from 3 to 4 o'clock. Save and close. Sync it, and if I expand it, it's now 3 to 4. Okay, this is the integration of single Outlook elements. Sometimes I need more information. I want to make a query. For example, all my tasks I have to do today or this week, all open tasks, all unread emails. How can I do this? I show you here in this topic, queries. In the menu Advanced, you will find a button called Outlook. And here we have a lot of standard queries. For example, all incomplete tasks, today tasks, recent unread mail, today's appointment, this week's appointments. And of course, you can also add a new Outlook query. I show you how to do with it. So a query name is, for example, my demo. My folder, I want to select a folder, and here I have all my folders in my Outlook. And for example, I want to have here my demo mail. Then I have some more possibilities. I want to synchronize the attached files. I have a date range. I can look for categories, and I can look for specific mail status. In my case, unread mails. Then I say, OK. And then the query runs automatically. And the first time it needs some seconds. And here you find the results. So I can easily drag and drop the results, for example, my demo mail in my map, or I can completely drag and drop the complete query into my map. And then the query also starts automatically, and the results are attached here in my map. Also with the attachment, also with the metadata of my mail, for example, and here my mail text is in a note. And this is a very good possibility, for example, to make a personal dashboard for personal productivity, personal organization. I recommend all beginners to start with a personal dashboard, with a personal plan, and often they find this possibility of Outlook queries very, very useful. Okay. A short introduction of the integration of Microsoft Office. Of course, we have the possibility to send parts of the map or the complete map to Microsoft Word. So if I want only send a specific topic or specific topic range, just mark it, right-click, send topics to Microsoft Word. If you want to export the complete map, then go to the menu File, and here you will find the Export menu. And here you can say, I want to export as a PDF, as an image, as a zip file, as a spreadsheet, CSV file, PowerPoint, or to Microsoft Word. Going back, of course, we have also the possibility to work with Excel. I show you here. I've attached an Excel spreadsheet here, and this is a Excel range I imported from Excel here to my topics revenue by regions. And you see, I worked here with a symbol with a picture of Germany, and I copied this topic to this topic, and here I changed the diagram mode. So you can also say by an Excel spreadsheet, I want to see it in a chart view. These are also possibilities, and of course you can also refresh from Excel. Of course you can also import slides to PowerPoint. Export, sorry, slides to PowerPoint. Slides means pictures will be created. To finish the add or link details, I want you to show an example for a customer table from a database. So this is a customer table from a database where we have an integration with a database. Of course, these are customer-specific solutions, but it is possible also to refresh or to integrate databases bi-directional, means that you can change the values of the database also in the map if you want it. Okay.
Jan, here is another question with regards to, in the ribbon, somebody has shown that we also have a SharePoint integration, or that there's a button SharePoint items.
Yes.
So what does it mean?
We have also integration with SharePoint. This is not in the normal or in the standard installation of MindManager, but we have a deep integration with SharePoint. We can synchronize tasks with SharePoint. Like I show you with Outlook, it's also possible to create a task in a map in MindManager and send it to SharePoint and refine it in SharePoint, for example, working there with your resources, with your colleagues. You can have also SharePoint queries, for example, documents, images, list items, whatever you want to have. And you connect to, you have the possibility to connect also to different SharePoint sites. But SharePoint is not my topic today, just to give you short the information. Let's continue in my tools from MindManager. So the next thing I want to do, I've captured all my information, I added additional external information. Now I want to plan a little bit. So planning means, for example, set up tasks. A task is just a topic, like you see here, subtask A, it's just a topic. And here you can add a progress symbol, a status symbol. You can see it here also in the index. I have to collapse the index. Here we have the progress symbols, and it's very easy to add, for example, my not done symbol here to my subtask A. I can work here also with drag and drop, very easy. You can also work with the menu task. Here you have also the possibility to set up the progress. Then you have to prioritize and plan the times. How can we do this? Here you see stage 1, 2, 3. So I add a new subtopic and say stage number 4. And then I will want to use my tab task pane info. Here I can set up by drag and drop menus the priority, for example, priority number 2, progress, it's not started, start date is today, the duration is maybe 2 days, and I have also the possibility to set up here resources. I show you in the next step. Of course, I can also change it directly here. Right click on the progress symbol and I could say here now 10% done. Create responsibilities. I've showed you here. These are the resources. We have several ways to set up resources. Of course, you can set up resources here again in the index, because here you find the resources and here you find John, Mary, Klaus, and for example, I can here also navigate with my index again. The other possibility is here, coming back to my stage number 4, I go back here to my task info and here can set up, for example, my resource John. And there it is. Now we have the resource John. So several ways to work with resources. The last way is the tab resources. Here you can also manage your resources. for example, enter the resource Jan, and here you can say also hours per week. For example, Jan works very much, like I do, 50 hours per week. And now we have it.
Only 50?
Oh, only 50, yes, boss, only 50. So, track and manage my tasks. Task automatization. Often project managers work with so-called container tasks. This means a collection task of several subtasks, as we have it here. So remember my task number 1, we have it here. Task number 1 with subtask A to C, and here we have subtask A, B, and C, and subtask C has also subtask D and E. So I want to see in my task A what is the progress of it calculated from all subtasks. And we support this, MindManager support this with the function roll up task info. You find it here in the menu task or in the task information. Here's also the checkmark for roll up task information. And if you set this checkmark, the progress of the subtasks is automatic accumulated in the parent task, in this case in subtask. And you see it here, it's also the first date of your subtask and the last, or the due date of the last subtask. In this scenario, it's not so good because it's only one workday. Interactive view of the Gantt chart. I show you here just a picture. We come later in the example to the Gantt chart by itself. It is also possible to have these tasks in the Gantt chart. And of course it is possible to import the task from or to Microsoft Project. And in real life, often project managers start their working in MindManager because you are flexible and easy and fast you can easy and fast create work breakdown structures. And if you're finished with the creation, you export it to Microsoft Project. There you have your high-end sophisticated reporting modules for projects. And then if you want to change it, you export it again to MindManager. Okay, have a short look to my example. My example is a new system implementing of a new system. And I think because of time reasons, I would skip the part of the icons, how to add icons and to link. I come to this point, how can we make decisions and how can we show decisions? For this, I use here my budget, my topic budget. What you see here, in my topic budget, I have several subtopics for the IT department, the human resources, and user modules. And here, the child topic are different modules for a new system I want to have. And each module has, for example, a cost property, a currency cost property, and an effort property. And here I make a summation in the parent topic of the module costs of the property costs of all child topics. The same I do with the effort. So where comes the effort costs from? It's a multiplication of the module effort of my child topics with the daily rate here of my parent topic. So this is an example how you can easily calculate. And one of the benefits of calculation or work with properties, topic properties in MindManager is the effort costs, which has a formula here, is also possible to drag and drop it just to another topic. You see it here, you have the effort costs of these subtopics. It's very easy. What I want to show you is, in my calculation, I have now attached links, my modules, my description of, for example, my performance management. I've attached it here. And you see here, automatically opens in my calculation the description of my performance management. Another benefit is I can now play scenarios. You see here in my parent topic modules, I have a budget of 40,000 euros. And I have two topics to discuss. Where we don't have a decision if we want to realize it or if we want to skip it. So let's play the scenarios. I just take the salary management, which has costs of 4,200 euros and an effort of 3 days, and drag and drop it here to the human resource department, because it's added to the human resource department here with the tag human resource department. And what you see here, I now got a budget consumption of nearly 100%, 39,800 euros. And yeah, of course, everybody see that the EFT direct deposit module is too expensive, is out of scope or out of our project. But yeah, let's play this scenario. Okay, now I have a budget consumption of 150%. So it's easy to make the decision that this is out of scope. I can move it directly here, and this salary management, this module is in our scope. It's a must-have module. Another possibility or another benefit of MindManager is also to use the power filter. You see here I've worked with icons, must-have modules. I've worked here with icons for my goals, usability or time goals or cost goals I want to reach with implementing my new system. And I have here also different departments, IT department, human resource department. And now my management, Stephen, asked me, how much money do we spend for our usability goals in the IT and human resource department? So normal, I would start to make different calculations, and sometimes 3 hours later I will give him his answer. Here with MindManager I just use the power filter, and you find the power filter here in this symbol for filters or in the view. Here you have also the possibility to set up the power filter, and the power filter shows you all symbols, all icons, all markers used in your map. So in my scenario I want to see all modules for the IT department, human resource department, which help us to reach our goals of usability. And then I can say I want to see all markers, which means this is the AND connection, or I can say any markers, this is the OR connection. In my case, I want to see all markers. And then I can say show matching topics. And you see automatically the calculation is also dynamically, and I can say, hey Stephen, our usability goals in the IT department and human resource department costs 11,200 euros. And this is a very easy way to play scenarios and also have the high-level view of calculations. I remove my filters because I want to have my calculation back. Short view of work breakdown structure. You see it here. I opened it, and here we have 3 phases. Oh, I'm nearly out of time. What you see here is also our tasks. I highlighted the tasks which are past due. We can work with relationships. You see it here with dependencies. And as I promised, I want to show you the Gantt chart. I opened here the Gantt view. So I just click here on a task, right click and show in Gantt chart. And then my Gantt chart opened automatically. And here you see on the left side the metadata, the task name in a list display, and here you see it in a graphical display. And the benefit of working in Gantt chart, you can easily see the time schedule, and you can change here from Gantt directly task into the Gantt view and can set up dependencies. So project managers love to work with Gantt chart. So 1 hour, 60 minutes is done. I'm finished now. Steven, do you have any questions? Stop chatting with others. We are here in the webinar.
not chatting with others. I'm answering questions, my dear friend.
Great.
No, I think we have answered almost all questions right here. There were some specific questions that I've answered in the background because there were too many details in there. But I actually had one question here right now, which seems to be quite interesting. The question is the example that you have shown there. Is this basically a complete project dashboard, or is it only the project plan in there? Maybe I can answer this one. I think the intention of this webinar was really to show the tools, not the functions. Basically, these are tools that you can use in MindManager. Definitely, we have not shown all of them, but the most important ones. The title was Discover or Rediscover Certain Things, Useful Things of MindManager. And what I would say, it's actually, I think when you take a look at the tools, it really shows what you can do with MindManager. And those tools are really generic. So MindManager provides you the flexibility to use those tools like you want them. Actually, also like Jan said at the beginning, MindManager is very flexible with regards to capture information, structure information. And this is why we can be used in so many different areas. So like Jan showed here, actually the example he has shown is a complete project plan. So beginning from brainstorming through making decisions of ideas, doing budget planning, but also setting up a work breakdown structures. You can do the complete project management either in MindManager, or if you need more complex functionalities for the really huge projects, actually you can do it in project. But as well, you can use it for driving your meetings, for doing knowledge management, so setting up knowledge maps, any kind of things, navigation maps. Use it for any kind of other things that comes up in your mind.
Daily plans. Daily plans is the best thing to start. I recommend everybody to start with daily plans because you have a big benefit. You have complete of your work, of your daily work, an overview every day.
Yes, and I will check Jan's daily plan after the webinar to see how he's doing it. Actually. So, I think from my side, thanks Jan for the webinar. Everybody, thanks for attending. If you have any questions after the webinar, basically I think Jan has some further information where you can address them, but feel free to ask questions about the tools, about use cases, how you can apply MindManager in different kind of areas. So, Jan, you've got the details.
Yes, if you have further questions to this webinar tomorrow or next week, please feel free, send us an email. We are here in Germany, so send us the email to webinar@mindjet.de. I will answer your questions and give you the details. As I said in the beginning, in the moderation, you will get a follow-up mail with a link to the webinar recording, so you have the possibility to view it again. And with the maps I show you here, and the last thing Stephen has to say.
I don't want to say the last thing. You can say the last word. That's fine. I'm only your assistant. I had some questions that haven't been answered. Maybe it's now throughout the webinar, like Jan just said. On the one hand side, you can still, if things come up in your mind, address them to webinar@mindjet.de, or I think we also have the more general one, but this will be actually described in the follow-up email. Please note all the questions that haven't been answered throughout the webinar, so either by word or by my typing, we will address them after the webinar. So shortly after the webinar, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we basically will answer every question that has been addressed.
Yes, boss. Okay, it was a pleasure for me. I hope I can provide you some information, some ideas, some inspiration. All I want to say is thank you for your attention and have fun with MindManager. Bye-bye from Germany.
And take this deal where I bring to you, 'cause it's amazing.